Stand back! There's a bucket train coming through! Welcome to Book It a Wrestling Podcast for the fans, by the fans, where we book, rebook, and revisit your favorite wrestling storylines. I'm your commissioner, Lil X Fudge, and today we're with your GMs, Damone, D Money.
I like that me and Mike both had the same expression when you said there's a bucket train coming through.
It was pretty gas. Also, Kevin Dash, are you Miss Dash's husband?
No, Kevin Nash.
Boo.
The gimmicks.
Oh
the
yeah,
gimmicks that I just put a D in a wrestler's name where it doesn't belong.
Oh, I know your gimmick. I'm just burying you.
Too sweet, Damone.
Too sweet.
My best gimmick was when he was the manager for Paparazzi Productions in TNA.
Are you gonna introduce me, or am I just gonna sit on screen here?
And I'm gonna guess 17th return of Hi-Fi Mike.
Party on, Garth.
Well, as you noticed, we are a little short-handed in the Book It world today. We're down at least a bad guy, Kenny, and the concepts of a Travis, of a primetime Travie T.
I feel like this is breaking a Kenny streak.
I know, yeah. Kenny's probably had the longest streak. Perfect.
Yeah, well, he has to start over now.
Yeah. Now he's got the worst attendance. Fuck him.
Hell yeah.
You're
Fuck
listening,
Kenny.
bad guy, Kenny.
He
Fuck
won't
you.
listen. He doesn't
And
listen
if
to
you're
us.
listening, primetime Travie T, I know you will. Fuck you.
I don't know.
and
This is
other
a
people who
fun
listen-
episode, so he might
You're
not
all right.
listen.
He'll listen to us and then tell us how bad.
Tells he hates it. I hated it. It was top bottom 3 episodes, and
He's
it's
gonna
not
bury
bottom.
it.
And it's not third.
Bottom 3 episodes. Or you said John's a bottom 3 booker. Same thing.
No, I said bottom.
You're
2
all
booker.
wrong. But
And I didn't say it. Kenny did.
despite the lack of our regulars around here today, we're still gonna have some fun. And what better way to have fun than to honor those who have helped us wrestling fans have fun? Because sometimes wrestling can be dark, it can be gritty, it can be nasty, and it can be downright mentally abusive from the booker to the fans. If you've ever watched something Vince Russo or McMahon has booked.
Almost exclusively.
We suffer a lot as wrestling fans, but there's been some people in the industry who have gone out of the way to make us laugh, to make us smile, and to bring some happiness into the world of wrestling. One of those recently breaking his comedy streak, R-Truth, now a serious wrestler, at least for the most part. But-
If that's what you want to call it.
Well, like, it felt like at first they were gonna try to make him super serious, and then they're like kind of already having him crack back to his old self a little bit.
Nope, they just took our storyline from Book It Verse 2.
Oh.
But instead of Sting, it's R-Truth. And instead of face paint, he cut his hair.
So,
He
are you
cut
saying
his hair,
that
to be
he's screeching Sting?
Yeah, it's exactly what it is. Except he just doesn't screech
Not
yet.
screeching.
And
Once he starts screeching, it's getting a 0.
To be fair, I don't think our thing ever actually screeched.
no,
Y'all just said it,
correct.
and it stuck.
This is early Book It Verse. I feel like if we would have done that now in Book It Verse, we would have got a higher score.
We were robbed.
We were robbed, and Travis screwed us. Oh, come on. You need to shut up because you've done some stinkers. You're bottom 2.
Yeah, but I didn't do that stinker.
What did you end up in this
We're
Book It
talking about
Verse?
that stinker right now. You're deflecting, little bro.
What did
I
you
own my
end in this Book
You know
It
what my
Verse?
stinkers are like.
John, what
What?
place did you end in this Book It Verse?
We haven't ended this book at verse
We
yet.
did end this book.
We didn't announce the rankings.
Yes, we did.
When did we do that?
Literally last
Last
episode.
week.
Oh,
All right, you weren't here. You were last.
yeah.
Either you or Damone, I couldn't remember.
No, it was him.
Yeah, okay,
I beat
it was
him
you.
I beat him by a penny.
Technically,
Penny is crazy.
technically, Travis was last because he got a bunch of zeros.
Technically, but
But since you finished it out, you were last. So I don't want to hear shit.
Okay, I've beaten you in other book it verses, so shut up.
I've beaten you. Yeah, the first book at verse.
Yeah.
That's it. That's
Jamie, what
the
book
only
were
one
you?
you beat me
You
in.
were last.
Was the first book.
You
Yes.
were last, Mike.
And then I
How
went
were
from
you
last
I
to,
beat you
to
by an
second,
average
which
of $1, Mike.
right. The first book at first, I was last. Since then, I've come in second, first, and second.
Out of 3. That one.
I've come in second, first, and second. You've come in last, last.
I wasn't last in the fucking third book at verse.
Okay, maybe third. Either way, last, third, last. Doesn't matter. I'm still beating you.
Okay.
Bottom 2 booker.
Anyway, you dorks just argue about how bad you are at doing book and verse later.
Yeah, but then
Again,
then when I
Damone,
stopped booking,
you need
you're
to
like,
shut the
"Please
fuck
come
up.
back, please come back, bro, please."
Anyway, comedy wrestlers.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Speaking of bad book at verse, let's not add any of the comedy wrestlers I did in the start of book at verse 4.
All right.
So we don't want both of Rock. So we each get 5, and then there's 1 shared. So do we want to just put R-Truth as like the universal one?
Go for
He's
it.
getting in no matter what. Mike, do you want to go?
So
and
what's
we're doing
the-
a 16 person.
What's the full parameters? Because like Kurt Angle had comedy angle like stuff. Does that count?
So I would say the majority of their career they spent doing comedy.
Can I just say Kurt Angle with the cowboy hat?
I would say Kurt Angle as a
Angle's
whole.
that even in the midst of his world title runs, he was doing some goofy ass shit. 'Cause in like TNA, he was like doing like 3 different divorce storylines, like calling his own daughter fat and like
I'd say
Like,
Kurt Angle
picture
was
of
pretty
around
funny.
about
I'd
fucking
say
his
Kurt
wife.
Angle throughout his whole career, for the most part, was pretty funny.
So you're putting
Like
Kurt
even
Angle.
even when he wasn't trying to be.
Who's your second one? Or John, you go. We'll
We
do
gotta
it in
throw-
a rotation. We'll
yeah,
snake it.
throw Danhausen in there.
I'm gonna throw Mick Foley. Mostly, well, not most. I can't even say that because Mankind, he was funny, and he was also funny as Dude Love.
Yeah.
Mike.
Let's do Chris Jericho.
Okay. I wish he would go. I'd rather he go back to doing the comedy stuff than doing the serious stuff he's been doing. Actually, no, because he tried to do the comedy stuff with the Learning Tree, and that sucked.
Well, it got too serious, is why it wasn't. It wasn't really a comedy gimmick.
Like I think he intended it to be. It was just he didn't do it well. It didn't work out well.
yeah,
It just
it
came
got-
off as douchey.
Yeah, it came out like a lot of his feuds got very serious, like with like Mark Briscoe particularly. I'm gonna go with the basic Orange Cassidy. Got to be on there.
Yeah, there you go.
Has he been injured?
I think so, or written off.
Because I feel like I haven't heard or seen him do anything in forever.
No,
No,
since
I
he
saw
like
him do something recently.
the Death Riders took him off TV, I think.
I swear I just watched probably within the last month or so.
I've watched
Uh,
wrestling the last year.
Yeah, I watched at least a match here and there.
God.
I'm gonna put in Santino Marella.
Yeah, it was on there.
John Cena.
I'm gonna go Hurricane.
Hurricane. Okay.
We're gonna go Curry Man.
Curryman was a very serious gimmick, sir. You know,
That's a Japanese legend.
he is a Japanese legend. Curryman over the Fallen Angel every day of the week. And twice on Sunday.
Hey, he was still putting on like bangers as Curry Man too.
He was. Speaking of bangers, give me a shell, yeah. I'm
Yep,
putting in
Shark
Shark Boy.
I knew it was gonna come next.
Yeah, that was my next pick.
Yep.
Mike.
Let's go with Christian.
Oh, is he I feel like he's pretty
Edge
sweet.
and we're not putting Edge and Christian in together.
Well, he's putting in Christian, not Christian Cage.
Right, just
Two
Christian.
different people.
I'm doing 5-second pose Christian.
Or like when you use the pout and you would
Right.
like literally pout on the ground when you lost.
Exactly. Oh,
So this one I'm putting in is purely. He's probably not going to go very far because we're all young adjacent or youngish, but this is kind of an historical one. Andy Kaufman.
yeah, I was literally thinking Andy Kaufman because
He's like the original comedy wrestler.
I mean,
I'm sure there were ones before him, but the most famous.
he was an actual
Like,
comedian.
right.
So he went on SNL. And you'll see this in my book of verse. He went on SNL.
How the fuck am I losing to this guy? That doesn't mean I'm a bottom 2 booker or whatever the fuck. The rating scale's broken.
Well, I'm gonna do comedy
Fuck
better than you did.
y'all.
Andy
That's why I
Kaufman.
said I fucking write for me, not for you. Y'all don't know what you even want.
Andy Kaufman
Oh, God.
had this bit in 1970, like obviously the late 1970s SNL, where he would call out a woman to try to beat him in a wrestling match, like
He was the
on
women's world
live
champion.
TV,
Right?
And
The women's world champion.
and he won every time.
Best women's wrestler, Andy Kaufman.
Exactly. Is it my turn?
I
Yes.
think it's mine because you did Christian and then
Yeah, I did.
was
Oh yeah,
Adam.
yeah.
So I'm gonna go Scott Steiner.
Yeah, I think with Scott, it's unintentional.
Yeah,
A lot of the time, I think when he was cutting the math promo, I think he was trying to be serious as hell. He was not being comedic, and it just worked out that way.
it's something that like resurfaced like way later on. Too,
Yeah.
like years
He's
later,
fat.
it like went viral.
Let's go with Rikishi.
Rikishi.
I was picking somebody out of Too Cool, and I went with Rikishi.
John.
I'm gonna go with Eric Young.
I miss comedy Eric Young.
I know watching serious Eric Young in TNA right now hurts me. That's like their biggest weak point. Like, stop trying to develop these goons and put on that fucking Super Eric gear right now.
Yeah, I don't want serious Eric Young. I want comedy beer drinking champion Eric Young.
Like,
I
go
know-
get some hair plugs, grow that bleach blonde faux hawk.
Before you put your next one down, Damone,
Yes.
remember there's gold dust still out there.
I know there's gold dust still out there.
The artist formerly known as Goldust too.
Oh, I'm thinking about putting William Regal in there.
What?
All right, well, then I'm gonna have to make a change because I need gold dust.
William Regal did a ton of comedy stuff.
He did.
Like he was obviously doing serious stuff too, but he had great comedic timing too.
R-Truth and gold dust had
I
the
feel like
fucking
Christian or
Gold Truth.
Jericho would be better replaced with like maybe like a Zack Ryder or something.
I'm putting William Regal.
All right, let's
Broken
take
Matt Hardy
out.
could also fit here too.
I'm
I
gonna
would
take.
honestly, yeah, Christian is who I would take out. If I
Yeah,
were
take
you.
out Christian, put in gold dust.
Okay. Is it 2 D's?
No, it's just one.
No, it's one.
Just one. Okay. Whenever I have to write his name, it always gets me. I always get stuck on that. I can't say Colt Cabana.
Kurt Cole.
Can't say.
Now you messed me up. Colt
Yeah.
Cabana.
Yes, I can't say him because I didn't watch him enough.
Plus, like, yeah, I don't get like his brand of humor from what I have seen. I'm like, he's a funny guy outside of wrestling. Like I've liked his like stuff he did on the Jericho Cruise. Did I mention I went on that? But
Never.
like I've never seen anything he does like very well like in the ring or like in character to be funny. But yet again, I've seen him like late stage jobber from like Scotty Goldman on to AEW, never like prime Ring of Honor. But I've also seen him have like a fucking barn burner, literally with CM Punk, where like they tore a fucking shed down.
Yeah, he's weird. Like, I don't get his comedy either. Like, he's one of those people. It's like,
I I
should the
missed I missed his whole prime, and that's the problem.
should the Rock be on here?
He
I feel
could
like he
be
should.
maybe over like a Jericho.
I would honestly probably put him over a Rikishi.
Yeah, I'd put him over Rikishi too.
You
Rikishi, if
go,
he was funny, his finisher was funny, but like he wasn't like otherwise very funny.
Mike, you good with that? Put in the
Yeah.
Rock instead of Rikishi.
Yeah, that's fine. He did it for The Rock, anyways.
He did do it for the Rock and the people. So we're gonna shuffle now. Mike, sing the song.
Every day we shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and shuffle and.
Okay. So first round, Santino Marella versus William Regal. John.
I think this is kind of a 1, 2, 3 here. Like Regal's had some funny moments for sure, but Santino
Just
is like one of the goats.
yeah, William Regal just ran into a bad matchup.
Like, and I don't maybe I've seen some of Regal's funny stuff, but I don't think he did it often enough to like warrant a place as like being a comedy wrestler.
So I wouldn't say it was pure. So he's kind of like a Scott Steiner, where he did comedy related things, but he's not a
Right.
comedy
Well,
wrestler.
the best comedy is when you're playing it straight. So, like, if you're writing a comedy or like something like that, you want to write a drama, and then it turns into a comedy. That's how Forgetting Sarah
Will-
Marshall
Regal-
was written.
Yeah, Regal was a very good straight man, and he could also do like the silly stuff, like when with Crime Time when he started like dancing and stuff.
Oh yeah, he had like those random moments of being funny.
Yeah, him and Eugene. Um, but yeah, it's Santino. William Regal just ran into a buzzsaw. So next one is The Rock versus R-Truth.
Dude, it's funny
Ooh.
because William Regal and Tajiri.
That too. William Regal and Jerry.
Well,
was
he's a
comedy
buzzsaw.
thing. Oh yeah. I see what you did there.
Oh yeah,
The Rock versus R-Truth. Fuck The Rock. It's R-Truth.
Oh, it's our truth. Should be a 1, 2, 3.
yeah. R-Truth is like another goat, and The Rock was like sometimes funny, but it also depended on who he was with.
And a lot of it didn't age well. Like
Yeah.
some of it, it's like that was kind of racist.
Yeah,
Or not even kinda. It was usually
It was
there
just
was some that-
racist.
It's just yeah,
or
that was
something that's
racist.
super sexist.
Yeah, it's super sexist or like
Or-
borderline.
Or homophobic.
Yeah,
That's like
Which-
a lot of Jericho stuff was super sexist too. So like, I'm glad that he didn't stay on the bracket because he didn't age very well with his comedy either. A lot of his stuff was
yeah.
like Stephanie McMahon's a slut.
Well, like his in WCW, he did pretty good. Like armbar.
Oh yeah, that was
Yeah.
legendary.
It was
When he was
different.
running around with that I forgot his name, but he had that bodyguard, the overweight bodyguard.
We mentioned this a couple. I forgot what a couple of
Yeah,
days ago.
and I can't remember
Oh,
what
what's
his name was.
I want to say
Something. I want to say like Brutus or Rufus or
Rufus. It's Rufus.
Is it Rufus?
Yeah. It was
Okay.
Rufus. It was
mean-
it's because yeah, it's Rufus because he was upset, and I saw that like part of that or the episode
Yeah.
where he introduced Rufus is because he was upset because he was the TV champion, which means because everyone watched WCW on their TVs, that meant he was the real champion of WCW above the world champion, and he was pissed that Goldberg got like the fancy entrance with like the security guards and stuff like that. So to mock it, he had Rufus as his security, and like he gets lost in the arena. So he walks around the arena, gets outside of the arena, and like you can tell the door is clearly he can open the door. But he like purposely puts his foot there and like pretends like he's struggling to open the door, even though we can tell the doors he can open it if he really
Right.
wanted to. So like he gets lost on his way to the ring. Hurricane versus Kurt Angle.
It's the Hurricane.
This one's a little harder, I think.
This one is harder because
It is, but
yes, Hurricane was great, but
I think Hurricane did more comedy for the sake of comedy, and that's really what I'm looking. Angle was funny. Again, he played the straight guy.
But all the
sometimes
times
he wasn't the straight guy all the time. Like
Yeah.
You're
like
right.
during
Well,
the stuff
no.
with
Angle
during
was
the stuff
making
with Stone
himself
Cold.
look-
Yes, he was still the straight guy during that. I mean, they were both the straight guy, but you know,
with Angle, the thing is that like he would be the literal world champion and making himself look ridiculous.
hey, that's
Like,
not
remember,
Hurricane's
when he
fault
had,
that
like,
Hurricane
run around,
wasn't a
like, the
world
arena
champion.
with nothing but like a speedo and like tan goggles on in TNA, or like when he was like crying on Kevin Nash's shoulder during therapy because he was doing his second Karen divorce storyline.
Right.
Um,
But Hurricane, what's up with that?
Like, I just think Kurt Angle's highs are higher than the Hurricanes. Like his stuff was so funny.
Right, but only one of them are still in WWE.
Okay,
One's a Hall of Famer.
It
I
should
feel
be
like that's a
Hurricane.
good thing for Kurt, like
Right.
not being the Fed.
Mm.
And
I think
Kurt
he's
Angle was
still
funnier outside.
I
Is
think
Kurt Angle
might
still
be on
doing
the
his
le-
podcast?
I think
But
he's on the Legend deal.
Yeah,
Probably.
yeah.
I could be wrong, but hey, did I mention that I met Kurt Angle?
No.
Took a picture with Kurt Angle.
Nice.
He was sitting down the whole time because I'm pretty
Nice.
sure his body's completely
Oh, broken and yeah. I mean,
Yeah.
he started with a broken freaking neck. It only went downhill from there.
Well, yeah. I'm going Kurt.
I'm going Kurt as well. Yeah, his highs were higher. He was so funny. Like,
And then a lot of Hurricane success came not as the Hurricane.
I don't agree
Like
with that.
when
but
the
sure.
world, like accomplishments, I should say. Like when he was like the longest reigning cruiserweight champion was when he
I
wasn't.
wouldn't be there. I still think the Hurricane is his prime because he was getting more
Correct.
TV time. He was beating The Rock. Like, he was a way bigger deal.
He had a
Gregory
stable at
Helms
one
could hold
point.
the title for a long time, but it was when nobody gave a shit about the title, and everybody else in the division was a jobber. Like, other than maybe Chavo, but they couldn't do him versus Chavo because they're both heels all the time. So it was like, oh,
Wasn't he
congratulations,
in-
he beat Shannon Moore and Jamie Noble and Funaki. Like,
No, you're a
wasn't-
Shannon Moore. You're a Shannon Moore stan. I want to
I
hear
am,
that.
but
Wasn't,
everybody beat Shannon Moore. Like, Shannon Moore was putting on
Was he-
bangers in 3
Yes, he was in
minutes of
3
losing.
count.
Yeah, I would say, was he in 3 count? Dude, that
Yes,
was
he
a
was in
comedy
3
gimmick
count.
too.
Yeah, 3 count was gas.
It is
I
crazy
mean-
that wait. So 3 count was Gregory
Was
Helms, Shannon Moore, right? and Evan Courageous.
Correct.
It's crazy that Shannon Moore isn't the worst member in that group.
Shannon Moore's not bad. What are you talking about? Like,
Okay, not bad. He's the
He's a
not
bottom
the
two,
least
and he's-
successful.
So
He's
bottom
not
two.
the least successful. Like he was a jobber most of his career, and he's still more successful than Evan Courageous.
why did Evan Courageous just disappear? Because they were trying to make him something.
Well,
Because they couldn't make
WCW
him
ended,
something.
WCW closed their doors, and
And
WWE
the
went,
Fed
"No,
didn't
thank
want to
you."
try with him.
I don't think so.
They wanted Shane and Shannon.
Yeah, I'm assuming. I don't know. They just were like, "We're good on the whole Evan thing. You can." No.
I'm just surprised he didn't like do anything.
All right, so
Maybe
Andy
he wasn't good. I
Kaufman-
don't remember. Like, he was like, I remember him having like a standout look because he had like the braids and was like jacked to shit. But like, when I think of the actual wrestling, I think of Shane and Shannon.
Andy Kaufman versus Danhausen.
My first vote.
Oh,
Yeah, that's fine.
I think like one, I missed Andy Kaufman, so like I don't
I
really
mean,
know much till
yeah,
to
Mike
be
told
fair,
me.
we
all of
all
us
missed
did.
Andy Kaufman.
Well, I mean, like
But-
haven't gone back and watched Andy Kaufman either. Like,
Again,
Well,
we all
we
none of
we
us,
all missed
besides
it.
maybe Mike, has gone back and watched Andy
But that's because
Kaufman.
I love SNL.
but it's
So
Danhausen all day. That man outsells most of AEW's roster off TV and as a comedy wrestler. He's a goat.
That is crazy. That he's like constantly top 5 in sales, and they just won't put him on TV.
I don't get it.
um,
That's gonna be a Dark Side of the Ring episode one day.
Danhausen is more of an actual wrestler. Also, he was on Pod Meets World, and he's friends with Topanga, so it's Danhausen.
God,
I'm
that's all
going
it
with
takes.
Danhausen too. Yeah.
I thought we froze for a second, but Damone just went mute.
No. So Scott Steiner versus Goldust.
Oh, I love this match in TNA. Scott Steiner versus Black Rain.
In Black Rain.
I'm going to
It's so
Goldust
fucking
all day,
bad.
every day.
I'm
I
going
like
with Scott.
Goldust. Legitimately, I love Goldust.
I do too. And what's crazy with Goldust is in the 2010s, like he developed the bag and like became way better in ring.
I feel like he always was able to make the best of whatever he was given. He
Hot take.
he had a lot
I
of shit.
only like Dustin as Goldust. If he's
And
not,
we're not
Goldust,
we're
he's
not talking
not good.
we're not talking any of his other gimmicks.
I like him as
I'm just
Dustin in
saying.
AEW. Okay, he can wrestle good.
I'm okay. I'll pass.
But yeah,
I
Black
I
Rain and
don't
all the
need
other gimmicks are
I
ass.
don't need veteran number 4 in my life. I'm
Right,
good.
but we're not talking about veteran number 4. We're talking about Goldust.
I'm going Scott Steiner because he's comedy gold
He's
without
comedy
even
gold,
trying to
but
be comedy gold.
He doesn't
He's
want to
fat.
be comedy.
He's fat. No, I'm going Scott too because I think he's funnier. But also like he was more consistent. Like that TNA run that he had, he was funny the whole time. While Goldust like did have a lot of lows in his career.
I'm a
No.
big bad booty
That
daddy.
No.
away from his ability to like had he just stayed
He was
Goldust
always funny.
or some variation of Goldust, like throughout his whole career, no matter where he went, I think it would have served him better. At like, but
But we're not talking about Dustin, and we're not talking about Six, and we're not talking about Black Rain. We're talking about Goldust, specifically Goldust, and what he did
yeah,
as
but it's like
Goldust.
Scott had more time to
Also,
be funny because
I will say
Goldust
this.
stopped being Goldust for so long.
Yeah. Also, I will say this. Kind of like you were talking about The Rock and Jericho. Some of early Goldust, especially later Goldust, middle later Goldust, not so much. But early Goldust, a lot of the comedy is really based on homophobia. Is oh my god, he's touching him and
Well,
rubbing on
Attitude
him and
Era,
stuff.
yeah,
So yeah,
for
so
sure.
that definitely takes away some of the
But going back
comedy from
to
Goldust.
I don't agree. I just like Goldust.
Hey, I at
Eric
least
Young,
admit that Mike didn't even try to like fake an argument there. He's just like, I just like him.
Eric Young versus Shark Boy.
Shark
Ooh,
Boy,
this
hoo
is-
ha ha.
This is TNA legendary material. I love this.
This one's tough.
Well, Shark Boy's also funny behind the scenes
he's
because like
funny.
he disappeared from wrestling for years because he made racks suing Lava Girl and Shark Boy like for his IP. That's funny as shit. But oh man, Eric Young's highs were so high.
Is
right?
that why we didn't get a second one of those?
Yes, probably.
I never
Eric-
watched it.
Oh man, because I could use the Goldust argument on Eric Young, right? Because like he went serious, and that took away from Eric Young's like length of being funny. However, the beer
Shark
drinking,
Boy's length was very short too.
I'm gonna go with Eric Young because the beer drinking championship stuff with James Storm was gold. Like when James Storm just pissed himself on TV, gas.
Yeah, I saw a thing where like the whole reason it started was because there was like a fan who took the WWE spinner belt like hot glued a beer bottle on it, and they presented it like gave it to one of like the like people who worked for the show for TNA. They gave it like they were in like the front row or whatever. Gave it to him. That person took it back to James Storm. Is like, hey, look at this, and he's like, what is it? They're like, they made this for you. It was like, oh, it's a beer drinking championship, and like Vince Russo happened to walk by and see it, and he's like, that's great. And the next week they had the beer drinking championship.
Hey, that's when like the good shit. That's the good side of Russo is like comedy writing, other than like the '90s
Mm,
homophobia stuff.
Like,
That
unless
a
yeah,
broken clock is right twice, at least twice a day.
this was tough. I'm gonna give it to Eric Young. Um, I don't really have a good explanation. Like they're both really great when they're comedy. I will say Shark Boy is very one note. It is just knockoff Goldberg or not Goldberg.
Stone Cold.
Stone Cold.
I mean, Goldberg
But
was also a knocked off Stone Cold.
true. What was the fake Goldberg?
Gilbert.
Gilbert could have
Gilbert should have been on
He
here.
could have made this list too. Gilbert
Definitely, we could Hornswoggle.
just all the like yeah. If we went to 32, Oklahoma from WCW, just all the parodies of each
Yeah.
other.
Oklahoma, for sure.
Orange Cassidy versus Mick Foley.
If we're going comedy, Orange
These
Cassidy.
are both guys who could fuck around one week and then win the world title the next.
I lied. I'm going McFoley.
That was quick. That was a
Yeah.
quick turnaround. So you're going Mick Foley now,
Yeah.
John.
Um, I'm gonna say Orange Cassidy because like he can just pull that shit out of nowhere. He could be like whole company's on the line. John Moxley's gonna beat your face in if you don't win, and he's still fucking drop kicking him with his hands in his pockets. You don't give a fuck. Like nothing will break his resolve.
I'm gonna go Mick Foley because he did enter a Royal Rumble 3 times. There's 3 different people, and get eliminated every single time. Plus, like, still when he went from Mankind to like saying Mankind wasn't strong enough to beat Triple H, and they did this whole same thing twice, and it worked both times. Where it, like they had him turned into Cactus Jack, fire. Both times they did it. Chris Jericho or Curry Man.
Oh yeah. I mean, I'm going Curry, man. I think a lot of Jericho stuff, like he's had some funny moments in AEW, but like in the Attitude Era, like his whole bit. I said this earlier. His whole bit was just Stephanie McMahon's a slut, uh, and that didn't age that well. Um, and yeah, Curry Man's so gas. It's kind of what's going on with like Hometown Man and TNA right now, where just like get fired, pretend to be someone else.
Who the fuck is
Um,
Hometown Man?
That's
I
so
haven't,
in TNA right now. That's
I
basically
haven't been
Cody
watching
Deaner
TNA.
because he like lost to Moose to get fired, and now
Yeah.
he's like showing up in every place they go, saying he's the hometown man from that place.
Who is
That's
this?
actually pretty
Cody
funny.
Deaner. It's actually gas, and what's crazy is that Cody Deaner's wrestling like out his fucking ass since this gimmick started. Like he's so good right now. Um, so if you're wanting to catch up on TNA, Hometown Man will be a highlight, and it is very Curryman pill. Um, but also Curryman was wrestling like crazy. Like if you watch the first Pterodome match, not the bad one, uh, Curryman was like putting on a clinic under that gimmick.
Mike.
I'll go Chris Jericho. We got list of Jericho.
Oh yeah, why am
It's the only thing I could
I'm
recall.
forgetting about a lot. Yeah, when I'm thinking of Jericho, for some reason, like the list slipped my mind.
The list, like I said,
As
the
for the
armbar thing.
yeah,
The Ayatollah of rock and roll.
Yeah, I think overall,
I'm gonna give it. Yeah, I'm gonna give it to Jericho because he had more longevity. Like, yes, I do agree with the Attitude Era stuff wasn't great, and the current stuff isn't great, but
there was a lot of good in between.
there's a lot of good like in between. Okay, so we're gonna go to the next round. So Santino Marella
Oh.
versus R Truth.
Our
This
truth.
That
could
could
be the
be
final.
a finals.
I'm
Yeah,
still
that's
going our truth.
oh,
He raps
I'm
his
going
own theme song.
Santino. I'm gonna go into
oh.
Santino to make John pick.
Yeah, Damone was rushed
Our
that TV
truth
decide.
coming our truth coming out as John Cena and doing the whole John Cena fucking entrance. Come on. Beautiful.
But
Um,
did he ever make JTG have a seizure from the Cobra?
I mean,
hey, one of Santino's best moments is when they went to Seattle, like fresh after they lost their team, talking about how much he loves the Oklahoma City Thunder. Shout out to the 2025 champions.
They also really wanted him to win the world title in that elimination chamber.
God. Was it what? I might be wrong about this. Wasn't there plans for him to like win like some major match at some point?
I know he probably. I know that like they almost made the call like mid match to switch it to him winning the world title instead of, was it Dan O'Brien? I don't even know who he was facing. But like they almost like made the call to like tell the ref like, hey, we're switching to Santino because Santino was so over during that during the match. Like the fans were like going crazy for him, even though he was supposed to just be in there to take the pin.
Hmm. Yeah. That was so hard because like I feel like Santino's a little more one note than R-Truth. Um, and R-Truth did do it a little longer, but Santino's back to doing it. And R-Truth is a bit more. R-Truth has more capabilities as a serious wrestler. You know
Who are you
what?
voting for?
Yeah, I'm gonna go with R-Truth because like Santino, like he's an okay wrestler, but he didn't have like the talent to like be like a serious like top guy. You know,
Yeah.
R-Truth has shown that he could be a contender wrestler as a serious one, and chose to be comedy.
First black NWA world champion.
Yeah, he's gas. He could be serious and well, and chooses not to.
Kurt Angle versus Danhausen.
Oh, do I gotta go vote first on this?
I'm still going with Topanga.
So,
So, Danhausen.
Then I'm gonna go Angle to make Damone do it because like
son of a bitch.
Angle's so funny though. Like a lot of this is just because I've been watching so much late 2000s TNA as of late. But man, they had their comedy wrestlers acting up.
Our Panga?
Um,
No, my Panga. Topanga.
But yeah,
But,
I was thinking about Kurt Angle moments like that the other day. There was the therapy with Kevin Nash. There was the tanning bed incident. What are some of the other ones? Because like every week he was doing something ridiculous on air. Yeah, there was him calling his like own daughter fat. Like that was
Right.
crazy work. And all this while being the world champion.
didn't he kick her out of the arena at one point? His daughter.
Yes. Oh man. And I'm not even to 2009 Kurt Angle yet. Like I'm not even done.
I'm gonna go with. I'm gonna go with Kurt. We see Kurt more often,
Yeah, we
and
have not gotten to
that
see.
isn't really Danhausen's fault. Like, yes, he got injured, but he's been healthy, and is just Tony Khan won't book him.
Still don't get why, but Tony Khan also is going to regret that when Danhausen is on NXT next month. Um, so
Is
we
his
got,
contract up?
yeah, his contract's up in July. As long as he
Bet.
doesn't tack on injury time.
Scott Steiner versus Eric Young.
Scott Steiner.
I'm gonna do Eric Young to make John pick.
Hey,
Because this one's another tough one for me. Because, like, Scott's unintentionally funny,
yeah,
while Eric Young was purposely funny. But Scott, I feel like, is still funny now, while
Hmm.
Eric Young isn't funny at all now. It
Yeah.
is super serious. Even like serious supposed to be serious Scott Steiner is still funny.
Yeah, but I am gonna still rock with Eric Young.
Not mad
Like,
at
cause
it.
like there's a progression with his comedy characters, from just like the conspiracy of like his thing in the arena, like dropping the pamphlets, to him being afraid of his own pyro, to the beer drinking,
So he's
to Super
Travis.
Eric. There's just a lot of gold. And like, I remember when he had the bikini contest against one of the women, and he was wearing SpongeBob boxers.
Didn't he win?
Yes.
And then the stuff with ODB when they got married.
Oh yeah, I didn't even do that yet. God, Eric Young's a gem. Yeah, I don't know what Tommy Dreamer he books for TNA. Yeah, Tommy Dreamer used to go back and watch that footage and get Eric Young a fucking faux hawk instantly.
Yeah, no one wants serious Eric Young. Mick Foley versus Chris Jericho.
Hmm. First vote on this. Um, I'm gonna go Foley. I think the three faces of Foley in the Royal Rumble's gas. Um, and like he was I think he was unintentionally funny as Mankind, and then later became more intentional. But even as like general manager and like commissioner and stuff, he was always pretty funny.
I'm also going to make Foley for the same reasons.
I'm going Mick Foley too. And like he doesn't have the same like his comedy didn't age well. Most of
Yeah,
Mick's comedy was fine. It's still
yeah.
funny now and it aged perfectly fine.
So he didn't rely on
Arch
being an asshole.
True. Our Truth versus Kurt Angle.
Our truth. He is little Jimmy.
Um, I think I'm gonna go with Kurt. He's just a sexy Kurt. 'Cause, yeah, I was just thinking of TNA stuff. I didn't even
Yeah, I
visit
forgot
like
about sexy
WWE
Kurt.
stuff. Sexy Kurt,
When
Jimmy
he was
Crack.
wearing the toupee
Yeah, the
with
toupee.
with the headgear.
The
So
the I Don't Suck song.
true. So here's the thing. The R Truth stuff is funny, but I also get when people say there's a little bit of like racial stuff attached to it because it does seem like they're doing the like he's a buffoon like vaudeville kind of thing,
Hmm.
which I could see Vince thinking that's hilarious. Like we're laughing at it for one reason, but Vince is laughing at it too for that reason.
Oh, I see.
Does that make sense? I guess
Yeah,
like
but
he's playing like the
I don't feel like
like
Ron would be like in on that if
no,
that
I
was.
don't. I don't think it's a him. I don't think he is. Our truth is, but I can see that being the reason why Vince loved him so much and like was in because Vince's brain is weird, obviously,
Yeah,
and I feel like the things he finds funny aren't the same things that the general audience finds funny. But and I've also like seen black people say that about like why they aren't a huge fan of that version of our truth.
interesting. I've never thought about it like that.
But um I'm gonna go with our truth because he did spend most of his like not yeah a lot of his career, at least his mainstream WWE career, as a comedy wrestler. Where Kurt, it was kind of just peppered in.
Yeah, that's true. 'Cause like I said, Kurt was doing it as the world champion.
Yes,
I do really
but then
appreciate that he was willing to make his character look stupid because most guys protect their character.
especially because he was like such a new wrestler. Like when he was doing a lot of the like comedy stuff, like because really when he first came in, his character was supposed to be like a serious like I'm an Olympic gold medalist. Like you guys should be cheering for me, and the crowd was like, "We don't like you," and he ran with it. Where a lot of guys would have taken themselves too seriously and been like, "Fuck this! I'm just gonna go do something else." I almost talked myself into reversing my vote, but I'm gonna stick with it. Eric Young versus Mick Foley.
And my first vote,
Yeah, you can vote first.
um, I'm gonna rock with Eric Young. Um, I I think similar reasons why you chose our truth over Kurt. Mick Foley, it's peppered in. Eric Young's comedy run was straight up that.
I'm going McFoley. I think he's just funny.
Funny looking.
Yeah, that too.
Um, I'm gonna go Eric Young because fuck that Mick Foley running TNA.
That shit was ass, but he was also even a little bit funny there, I will say. Like when the first Hogan episode, like he got kicked out of the arena, and it's just like the whole episode he's trying to get his way back in.
It's still crazy that they were like, Hernandez, who's young, jacked, super over with the crowd. We're gonna have him not win the world title, but Mick Foley, who's over the hill, out of
Retired twice.
shape, retired multiple times. We're gonna give him the world title. And it felt like it was 6 months, even though it was really like two, but it felt like it was 6 months to a year.
Yeah, I thought it was for so long.
Yeah, until like you realize, oh, he only had it for like 2 months. It just felt like he had it forever.
Maybe he was defending it a lot, which also why. Like,
Yeah, if you're gonna have him as your world champion, he should be barely defending it.
but
So, the finals:
fucking nutty.
R Truth versus Eric Young.
Our truth.
Yeah, we all knew how Mike was voting. He's an R Truth stan. I think he's
I
like,
am.
I feel like he single handedly started the We Want Truth movement.
It
Like
did. It just took way
this
too
man
long to
don't
catch
watch
on.
wrestling, but he started hating so quick when he heard R Truth lost his job.
Hell yeah.
Um,
Loyal to one man.
I'm gonna go. I'm gonna put it on Damone. I'm gonna go Eric Young, and also to represent my TNA, even though they're both TNA guys.
They
Um,
are.
but yeah, beer drinking champion versus the 24/7 champion. Two most important titles in wrestling.
True. You can have your World Heavyweight Championship. You can have your Universal Champion, your IC Champion, your US Champion. Give me a good old beer drinking champion.
If alternate booking, if CM Punk had signed with TNA after leaving AEW, he beat Eric Young for the beer drinking championship.
And then retires it.
God.
That actually would be so heel. That would be a fucking fire heel thing to do. Like Eric Young is the beer drinking champion. He CM Punk is just being super straight edge dickhead, and he's like, "This is stupid. You shouldn't have this championship. Shouldn't exist." And he wins the title just to retire it.
Go
And fans would be pissed.
550.
I'm gonna give it to R Truth because R Truth, even like his his length of being in the comedy guy has been longer than um Eric Young's.
Yeah, by a cool minute too. Like 'cause Eric Young's comedy run was only like 5 years, while our Truth has been like 10 at this point.
Right.
Um, everybody watching probably came in thinking, "Why are we even doing this? Our Truth's gonna win," and
Right.
they were right.
Yeah. I came in thinking, why are we even doing this? Our truth's going to win.
However, they can now go back and appreciate some of the guys we listed, and maybe even comment some of the ones that we did not, because I know we made some glaring omissions, um, and we're gonna feel stupid about it later. Or if in 2 years the hometown man becomes legendary enough to join up with them. But for now, our Truth is the best comedy wrestler, beating out some of the funniest names in wrestling history, like Kurt Angle, like Danhausen, like Eric Young, like Mick Foley, like Scott Steiner, like Chris Jericho. Uh, with that said, uh, High Five Mike, can you be
Yo.
found anywhere yet?
Hell no.
Fuck you. I'm gonna pretend to be Kenny now. So first, you can find Bad Guy Has Spoken podcast on YouTube's. Then you can find oh, I'm botching it so bad. You can catch my
Good
podcast.
movie review.
Good movie Yeah,
Just hit them in whatever order you can remember it.
yeah. I was about to do Geek in the Motherfucking Cheats next. You can catch
Well, you just
that
did
where they
it.
talk about Marvel, anime, Lord of the Rings, you name it. Hood movie reviews where they watch your favorite and not so favorite hood movies, like How the Grinch Stole Bitches. You can also catch Not a Real Court, where they finally have argued about the best vegetable. And I was disappointed in their omission
No,
of lentils
I
and
mean,
ube. Um,
Ube.
you're
No
right.
that
one,
shit is
no
gas.
one's
Ube,
casual. No
Ube.
one's, nobody's casually eating ube or
Maybe you
lentils
Boars art, like
or lentils. No one's eating lentils on
maybe
a
you
Tuesday.
poor digestive systems aren't, but I'm getting
Yeah,
my dietary fiber in. Uh, is that all Kenny show? Oh, unbiased is how he starts. That's what fucked me up.
With the letter
Unbiased
U.
with PK thrown full of you. That's a football podcast. I don't know what they've been talking about in the off season. Hopefully
they
basketball.
haven't.
They don't.
They don't.
It should be background football season though for all you football fans out there. And I think that's all Kenny shows for now. But he always has new shows. So keep a lookout. Bad Guy Has Spoken on YouTube. Check out the playlist and you'll be able to find that content. Um, and then D Money, where can they find you?
You can find me on all the shit not owned by Elon Musk at dumbmoney213. So DAMONEY T13. You can find all the 213 Media stuff at 213media.com. Slide over to the store, buy some merch. You can also find on the YouTubes, on Bookit's YouTube channel, me, Travis, and Kenny are doing a My GM mode Friday Night Wars. So I'm WCW, Travis is Raw, and Kenny is SmackDown.
WC Dub.
So
WC Dub.
No EC Dub? Wow.
no, Kenny didn't want to do ECW because in my jam, ECW doesn't have a women's champion.
That's fair
So,
because did you see how they treated women in ECW?
which they could have just given them the title, but no, they don't have a women's title at all. They don't have a women's or a women's tag championship. So,
Yeah, that's pretty ass. Um, and if you want to find me anywhere, you can find me two places. Well, first you can check out both mine and Book It's Drop Kicked. Mine is under Little X Fudge, where we make playlists of our favorite wrestling matches and shows. Um, and you can do the same for Book It Wrestling Podcast. So if you want to check out some of our favorite matches, you can. And you can find me on Blue Sky under Heel Pepsi Man or Little X Fudge. I believe either is doable for the search. And with that being said, that's been an episode of Book It. See ya.
bye.